What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Life Unlimited Coaching channel. This is Coach Kayla, and today I wanted to talk about trade-offs. This was something for me that I had to come to realize in business when, so my first business mentor I ever hired, he actually did a business training on this, and it helped me have a reality check in regards to like how my business was doing, how I wanted it to be doing, and then like what the disparity was. And I think the same rule applies a lot with fitness and health. Okay. From the business standpoint, he was talking about how the more time you have, the more attention you have, and the more you're willing to give up to hit certain goals, the more likely you are to achieve those goals, right? And the same applies from a health and fitness standpoint. Oftentimes, I think we say we want something, but in reality, we don't really want those things. Otherwise, we would be willing to give up certain things in order to get there, right? And basically what we're saying is we say we want this thing, but we really want these other things more. So let me use me as an example, right? Like I may say that I want 6-pack abs, right? But in order for me to have 6-pack abs, it would take like an exuberant amount of effort. I'd probably have to be like bodybuilder strict for a long period of time, right? And there's certain aspects of my life that I wouldn't want, that I would have to cut out, or I'd have to be more prepared for in order to get there. Like we have family dinners every week, right, with my grandparents, and we go visit my other grandma on Sundays, and we go to dinner with my mom, and we go and eat at Shane's grandparents' house, right? And we have all of these family get-togethers every single week, right? And I can happily maintain or even lose weight going to those things by monitoring my portions and, kind of planning my day around them. But like the likelihood of me actually getting 6-pack abs and still eating whatever I want at those things, at those functions, or for the most part what I want, is like, it's not going to happen, right? I'd have to pack my own food and turn down grandma's pie and all that stuff, right? And so I'm trading 6-pack abs for those things instead. Does that make sense? I'm trading. It's a trade-off that I'm choosing to make. And once you recognize that you have, basically the struggle comes when you say you want something, but then you keep doing the actions that say you want something else. And so then you're in conflict with yourself. It's called, I can't think of what it's called. Cognitive dissonance, I think is what it's called. Cognitive dissonance. And you'll feel it, right? You say you want one thing, but you keep acting out in accordance with something else. And once you just get aligned with what you want, and then you say that's what you want, and then you go get what you want, then everything lines up perfectly, and it happens. Does that make sense? And so sometimes it's actually figuring out what you really want, and writing it out. Because so people will come to me and they'll say they want to lose X amount of weight. And the people that do the best, that come to me, they are ready to commit to themselves. They've tried everything under the sun, but they are looking for something different, more personalized, more sustainable, and that fits their lifestyle better. Because most of the time they've tried keto or Optavia or all of these crash diets that work for a minute, but they don't work long term. And so the people that come to us and work best with us have tried all of those things. Maybe they worked when they did, but then they stopped and they gained the weight back. They're ready to commit to a long game lifestyle. right? The people that don't work well with us are the people who have tried and failed a million things because they can't ultimately commit to what they say they want. And they don't work well with us, but they won't work well with anything because there's cognitive dissonance. Does that make sense? So they say they want to lose 50 pounds, but they'd rather just eat McDonald's every day because they really just want McDonald's. Just using that as an example. Does that make sense? And so until you really figure out what you want and then you commit to it, you're never going to get there. There will be trade-offs. So the question is, are you willing to make those trades? When I was having the conversation with my mentor about my trade-offs, I said I wanted a certain revenue, whatever, at the gym when I owned the gym. But I also wanted to be a mom and prioritize being a mom and be there for my son, pick him up from school, and not have someone being daycare, like all this stuff, right? And so I was trying to juggle both. And so by juggling both, the gym never hit what I wanted or what I thought it could, right? Because I was just choosing being a mom. It was more important to me. Okay. And so until I realized that, and until I was like, no, this is what I want. I just want the gym to sustain itself. Like, that's really ultimately what it did. Does that make sense? So, like, you have to finalize or solidify exactly what you want, and you need to be so clear. And then once you get clarity on exactly what that is, you can go get it. Okay? So, if you say you want to lose 50 pounds, that's great. There's like a million ways to lose 50 pounds, okay? But if you say, I want to lose 50 pounds, but I want to do it in a way that doesn't let me eliminate McDonald's completely, right? You're going, or allows me to eat McDonald's, I just know how to do it in a way that still gets me results. Or, like, you have to be clear so that you can go get it. Does that make sense? Because if you can lose 50 pounds eating McDonald's, but you have to know how to do it, right? You can't just say that and then it'll happen. And so, but if you say I want to lose 50 pounds, and then you try to eliminate all of the things and cut out all the things that you genuinely want, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work long term, and that's why people struggle. Anyway, just a quick one for you today. So, when you're evaluating your own life and what you want, what you genuinely want and what you genuinely care about, don't put, like, if you're writing it down and you're journaling this, don't put what you think you should want. Because I think that's oftentimes what we do, is we're like, well, I'm a gym owner and this guy's $1 million gym owner, and so I should be wanting to be $1 million gym owner because that's what I should want, right? Does that really matter to you? Okay. If you think that you're supposed to weigh 145 because someone told you that's what you are supposed to weigh, and you don't weigh 145, don't just write 145 because so-and-so said you were supposed to weigh 145. What do you really want to weigh? What matters to you? Does that make sense? As a fitness professional, oftentimes I think people think that I should have six-pack abs and I should be able to, like, flex in a bikini all the time, right? If I'm being honest, my priority is, like, being able to bench a lot of weight and squat and deadlift a lot of weight. The likelihood of me being able to do that and have rippling abs is pretty low, because the priorities and how you fuel your body is completely different, right? Especially with how my body holds on to things, okay? And so, like, you have to be willing to recognize where you're at, what you genuinely want, what really matters, and write out the path on how you plan on getting there, and then go and get it. But realize that just because someone says you should want this thing doesn't mean that you actually want it. Figure out what you actually want. In fact, we're shifting a lot of what we're doing within our program, and we're adding a guarantee. to the results, okay? But what we're doing within the program is we actually do a 1-month discovery period, because oftentimes people come to us and they say, I want to lose 65 pounds in a year. Is that totally possible? 100%. Do most people want to actually put in the work to lose 65 pounds in a year? No, they don't. And so we do a 1-month discovery call, or discovery period, once you sign up for the program. And then at the end of the month, we're going to do a call with you to see where you're at, and we'll map out our plan for you and what we think is realistic. And then as long as you are 85 to 90% compliant on that, we'll guarantee the result, as long as you agree to it, right? And that you do your part, and we have those outlined. But the reason we're doing that is because I think that discovery period is important, one, for us as coaches to really see how your body reacts to things. But the second part is you have to realize if you're willing to do the work. Are you willing to do the amount of work that's going to be required for you to achieve this said goal that you this arbitrary goal that you came up with? Because if you're not willing to do the work, then let's set a goal that you are willing to work for, right? If 145, getting to 145 would require you to only eat chicken breast for 3 weeks at a time and nothing else. Like, there's certain things where it's like, I'm not willing to do that. I want that, but I'm not willing to do it, right? And you have to be willing to do it. And so that's where it's at, right? That's where this, we get in this internal battle all the time. Because at a certain point, you have to decide what you really, really want and what's really important, which is why I really like working with moms, because it's really easy to quantify. It's not easy to quantify exactly what you want when you're a mom, but it's easy to know when you get there. Does that make sense? In regards to your health. Sometimes it takes a week, which is really cool. And then at that point, it's just learning exactly how your body reacts to things. But like most people that come to us, they want more energy. They want to feel better. If they were to put a blanket statement on what they really want, right? Yes, they may have a goal weight. Yes, they may want to lift a certain amount of weight or wear a certain size or whatever. But ultimately, everybody just wants to feel better. They just want to feel better. They want to be able to run around Disneyland all day with their kids and not be tired, right? But only you can decide when you get there. It's not an end goal. And that's what's kind of cool about it. That's really what we all want. We want to go to the doctor and get a clean bill of health. Say like, yeah, you're 55, but your body's 36. That's what we really want. We don't really want 6-pack abs. Not really. Like, nobody cares, right? It'd be nice. Let's be honest. But like, does it really matter? Not really. The other stuff matters more. And that can happen really quickly if you do it right. Anyway, hopefully this is valuable. But figure out what you really, really want. I'll chat with y'all later.